Hey everyone, Mr. Munnin here. This is a video on comparing and ordering fractions, decimals, and percents. In this video, we're going to up the rigor a little bit because we are not just comparing fractions, but we're going to be comparing fractions, decimals, and percents. So let's jump right into it. Mr. Martinez cataloged the cars he saw in a parking lot. These are his observations. 1800ths of the cars were white. 30% of the cars were silver, 1/4 of the cars were red, 1/5 of the cars were green, 7% of the cars were blue. Which color group contained the greatest number of cars? So I want to figure out which color group had the greatest either fraction, decimal, or percent of cars. So looking at this, it does look like I have percents to compare, I have fractions to compare, and I have decimals to compare. I prefer to work with percentages, so that means that I'm going to start by converting all of these values into percentages. So let's take a look at this first one, where 1800ths of the cars were white. Well, how can we convert that into a percentage? Well, 1800ths, that's a decimal, so that means that it's written as 0.18, 1800ths. Hundredths. That tells me that the denominator is going to be 100. And if there are 1800ths, that means the numerator is 18. You'll recall that the denominator of any percentage is 100. So if I have 18 over 100, that means that that is 18%. So that means 18% of the cars were white. 30% of the cars were silver. That's already a percentage, so I'm just going to rewrite that. 1/4 of the cars were red. I know from my common conversions that that is 25%. 1/5 of the cars were green. I know from my common conversions that 1/5 is 20%. And 7%, that's already a percentage. So now the question is asking me which color group contained the greatest number of cars. So if I'm looking for the greatest number of cars, I'm looking for the greatest percentage, because that means that most of those cars were that color. Now it looks like the greatest percentage I have here is 30%. 30% is bigger than 18%, bigger than 25%, bigger than 20%, and bigger than 7%. So that means the color group that contained the greatest number of cars were silver cars. Best of luck in studying for the IA.